This is the Projekt Gemineye Update, your source for all things Projekt Gemineye. Brought to you by Riffical Records. And here's your host, Mark Anthony K. Greetings, friends, and welcome to episode 186 of the Projekt Gemineye Update. This week, we're going to be taking a look at what lies beyond Side B. Now, before we get started with this, I wanted to take this time to thank everybody who watched the previous episode, which is a look at Side A. I was pleasantly surprised with the amount of people that watched this. I think last time I checked it, it just went over 200 views in less than a week's time, which is fantastic. I mean, I have only a few videos, to be honest, that have over 200 views on it. So this gives me great hope and optimism that this new record is going to be something that you guys are interested in and are looking forward to. So again, thank you so much for your support and for watching the video. And again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. It greatly helps the channel getting out there to more people. And leave a comment and leave a like as well. That also helps get eyes on the video as well, which is helpful in getting it out in the whole YouTube stratosphere there. So once again, thank you so much for doing that and for watching the video. Now, before we get started on to Side B, just a couple of housekeeping notes. Today is, well, the time that I'm recording this, it's April 4th, Tuesday. The end of this week, I'm hoping to maybe put out one more song. I don't think it's going to be a song from the album. It's probably going to be either a bonus track or a non-album track that's going to be on there. Either way, I think you guys will enjoy it. Because I did want to release something else from the whole project before the album comes out, which is on April 21st. I'm working on the artwork right now. Actually, myself and Jason Paulin, thankfully, is back on board helping with the graphic end of things. And he's doing some fantastic work. I've seen some of the early mock-ups that he's done so far, and it looks fantastic, as all his work does. If you own any of the prior Projekt Gemineye albums, you've seen his work firsthand. So it'll be hopefully done very soon. And once we're near getting that all done, I'm going to start the pre-order of it. I don't feel comfortable in starting the pre-order until we've kind of nailed down the artwork and all that, because then it's just a matter of just giving it then to Train Records and getting it started. I am going to do the CD first, but the vinyl pre-order will be done not too long afterwards too. I don't want to wait too long with it, just because there's going to be a long period waiting for the vinyl. But the CDs won't take very long, and the vinyl wait will be worth it, I promise you. As with all my albums, there'll be a poster, there'll be other things included with it, and this time, for the first time of any of my albums, there will be included a bonus disc inside the record, which will include some of the bonus tracks. Probably the one that's going to be released this coming week. If it's not this Friday, then probably the week after or sometime during next week. I do want to release one song before the album comes out on the 21st. Oh, and another thing, sorry, this is what I was trying to get to, what I was trying to think of. As I mentioned before, there is a interview out with me with the Progressive Palaver, talking about this record in more detail as well. If you're interested in checking that out, go to the Progressive Palaver on on YouTube, or I don't know if they're on YouTube, but just do a search in Google, you'll find them, and they're on SoundCloud, I believe, and other places like that. Also, there's going to be more interviews coming up this week. I'm doing one with the great Preston Fraser. He's going to be putting it up on his channel. All those things you'll be able to find links to on the Projekt Gemineye Facebook group page. So keep your eyes open for that. And there are other interviews in the works right now. I'm not going to say what it is until they are confirmed. So before we get started with side B, let's just quickly cut over to a quick ad. The world is changing. Life is becoming more stressful year after year. So what will we do when medicine doesn't ease our pain? We escape into the cyber wonderland. Coming this spring, the new album from Projekt Gemineye, What Lies Beyond. Okay, so side B, track 1, Seed and Soil. This song was written about more than halfway through the writing sessions. It was not near the end of it, but somewhere in the middle. Let's just put it that way. The way the song started off was mainly with a drum and bass idea that I had. Once I had that done, the ideas came quickly. The verse part came pretty quickly, and the pre-chorus, which is just basically a guitar riff. And what I like about this song particularly is that the bass guitar in this is pretty featured in this song. There's a little bass line that happens within the verse parts that's very reminiscent of either a Geddy Lee or a sort of Chris Squire bass line. My influences are pretty obvious, and lots of you already know who my influences are. Rush, Yes, Genesis, Dream Theater, all kinds of things. And the chorus part, what I tend to do, I find, is I tend to keep my chorus parts pretty simple as far as not making it too overly noodly or too many overly notey, because I think that the most important part in the chorus is the vocals, and it needs space to put strong melodies in. And I'm very happy with the vocal melody in this song. One of the things I don't do very often in a chorus is a sort of I'm not gonna say chanting, but a sort of gang sort of background vocal, which is in this, what I do is the kind of whoa in there. I don't do that very often, but I thought it was very very catchy and very useful to kind of get across the sort of message I was putting in here lyrically. I thought it gave that sort of feel of a large protest group, almost like chanting in unison sort of thing. That's the kind of vibe I was trying to go for in there. And because the lyrics in this song have to do with farming, basically. A long story short of it is the government here in Ontario, there's been a lot of debate about using our green territories, our green lands, like our forestry and our forest areas being chopped down to build housing. Now, there could be worse things to chop down a forest for than housing, but the problem is that they're saying that we don't have enough housing for people that are coming to live here, mainly immigration, people that are immigrating here, and that's not entirely true. I mean, I've gone to Toronto many times, and I've seen lots of areas that are just either derelict or in need of repair, and the government has more than enough funds to repair these areas and make them more than just livable, make them very nice, and you'd have more than enough space to start putting these people, to live. Instead, they think it's a better idea to build from scratch somewhere and take up lands that were in some people's families for generations. And when you do that, when you take away these lands that have been farmed on for so long, you're taking away the potential for food. And when you have a lot of people living here and we're bringing more and more in, we're going to get to a point eventually, if this doesn't stop, where we're going to have not enough area to grow food. And we'll be reliant on outside countries for food, which is never a good position to be in. I've always been a strong advocate of that. that a country should not have to be dependent on outside countries for stuff, then you start, falling under their heel sometimes when that happens. So basically, that's what the song is about lyrically. I do believe that there could be also other ways to look at it, not only just farming. I mean, the battle of land between, let's say, the Native Indians as well and the government of Canada, that could be also looked at as sort of a parallel in here. But it is more specifically about farming now and how farmers are being pushed off their land by government in hopes of building grandiose buildings in condominiums and housing units in general. I have no problem with putting up housing because we do need it in spots, but at the cost of food, that's not a good idea. So let's take a listen to a few examples of this song. I'll play the introduction. Oh, that's another thing I forgot to mention. The introduction to the song, like I said, was initially supposed to be a drum and bass beginning, but Joe Bailey added some very great orchestration to this song. And one of the things he did is he added an orchestration bit at the top of this song that I thought just sounded absolutely fantastic, and was so happy that he did that I decided to actually keep it that way and start the whole song off that way. So let's listen to that introduction, and then I'll cut to another part where I'll show the verse part, and it'll show that bass line that I was talking about, that very Geddy Lee, Chris Squire-ish bass line. Let's take a listen. So there you go. There's a couple of examples of the song Seed and Soil. Again, I think this song turned out really well. Very happy with it, both musically and lyrically. I hope you guys will enjoy it as well. I think it will be maybe one of the standout songs of the album. But then again, you guys will let me know when the song and the album comes out. So now let's go over to the next song, which is the other epic of the album, which is called I'm Free. But before we do that, let's go to one more quick little advertisement. What's more important, food or lodging? This is something that's been argued across the world for many years now. The more we build, the less land we have for food. Until one day, there may not be enough food for anybody. Coming this spring, the new album from Projekt Gemineye, What Lies Beyond. Okay, so let's talk about the last song on the record and the second song on side B, which is I'm Free. This is another lengthy song. It's about 11 minutes and 20 seconds long. This song was probably, I think it was the last song that I wrote. I wanted to try something a little bit different this time, in that I wanted to do a song where I was kind of just guitar and vocal for a little section of the song. Um, I did something similar on book three, now that I think of it, with the uh, God of Time and Design. I believe there's a little section there I did a little bit of singing by myself with the guitar, but I wanted to do something like that. Uh, and I wanted to make it sound very personal because the message in the lyrics is a sort of very personal one. Um, the the guitar playing was done mainly on my electric guitar by my Fender Strat. There's a little bit of layering with the acoustic guitar on there as well. Um, and again, this has some nice orchestration bits by Joe in this song. But the message in the song is something that I wanted to be easy to understand, but yet have multiple meanings once again. Uh, in the beginning of the lyric, I refer to a lady named Alice. Now, Alice could be anybody. That's nobody. I don't have anybody in my life personally named Alice, but I wanted Alice to represent many people, or many things to many people, as they say. Um, Overall, the inspiration for the song was the COVID situation. I know people are so tired of hearing about that, but really, if you think about it, that message that I'm trying to say in here, which is basically a guy writing a letter to his girlfriend or his wife or whoever it was in the song, uh, apologizing for his naivete, let's just put it that way, about the situation that she was in. Now, in the song, it makes it sound like she became sick. He didn't believe that, her sickness was that serious. And much to his heartbreak and disappointment, she's no longer with him. She dies. Or does she? Or does she just leave him? You can interpret the lyrics in many different ways. That's the thing I like about the way I wrote the lyrics in this, is that it could be about, COVID. It could be about anything. It could be about somebody coming down with a different disease, cancer. It could be somebody getting, I don't know, HIV positive. It could be about, it doesn't matter what it is. I think the message I was trying to put across is that sometimes we need to be a little bit more open to other people's opinions and other people's beliefs to exist in this world. We can't just be so one-sided and one-track minded about things. Speaking personally, I had a few people that I knew that came down with COVID, and within my own family, there were members of my family who took the COVID thing as very lightly, who thought that people were overreacting. You need to live your life. Stop being so foolish. Don't hide inside your house and stuff like that. And I wasn't hiding inside my house, for example, but I was being cautious because there were people around me that I wanted to keep safe and not spread it to if I happened to have caught it, which I never did. But there were people that I knew that did get it, and a few people that I knew that came close to dying from this. So whenever I hear this kind of opinion that, people are overreacting and people are not taking it seriously, it is serious, because it's happened where I knew a few people that almost passed away from it. So I'm not saying that you should take all that I say about this as text or gospel, but sometimes people have other opinions on it for a reason. It's not just blindly saying stuff. So that's kind of the context of the song lyrically. I know I'm talking about the lyrics this time before the music, but excuse me. But I wanted to kind of get that out of the way, because lyrically it's a pretty important song, I think, in more ways than one. Musically, I really enjoyed doing this song. There's a lot of great parts I thought that I came up with. Lyrically, again, I'm happy with the lyrics, and vocally, I thought I came up with some good harmonies and some good, good melodies in the song. Once again, I wanted to make sure that the chorus was the strong part. I kept the chorus vocally simple as well as lyrically. And a lot of the bands I like do that. I mean, bands like Iron Maiden have some fantastic choruses, and sometimes it's just one line repeated 4 times. And I didn't do it that simply, but I don't see anything wrong with that as long as it's catchy and it sends across the message that you want. I wanted to have a little bit more of a message than just one line repeated over and over again, but I think sometimes when you try to clutter too many words in a line vocally, you lose the essence of the melody, is what I'm trying to get at here. So let's take a listen now to a couple of parts of the song that I feel show this. An example of where the vocal melody is strong, in my opinion, because it isn't too overly complex lyrically and melodically. Let's check this out.
Hello, Alice. I'm writing you this letter. I cannot take this world anymore. Now my soul is free from this pain this life has been. I really wish there was some other way. I never really planned to die today.
So there you go. There's a couple of examples of the song showing how keeping the melodies sometimes simple is a way to get across your message more strongly, I find. There's nothing wrong with having, I think, more complicated melodies, but it has to call for it, I think. And in some of these examples that I showed, I thought that it was a better idea to keep it more simple. And I think it turned out well. Hopefully you guys think the same, and will enjoy the song for what it is musically and lyrically. So there you have it. That's a quick look at I'm Free. And this is the end of side 2 of the vinyl. Now, and keep in mind that if you're buying the CD version of this album, there's going to be a bonus song that you'll get, a 5th song, which is Brutal World. I might do a segment on that. I don't have any plans right now, but maybe I'll do it depending on how the reaction on this is. If it's really good and people want to hear more about maybe the other songs or maybe even the bonus tracks, then I will consider doing that as well. But I thought it important to go over these songs a little bit because I really do feel strongly about this record. I think it turned out really well, and I'll be honest and say that I'm very proud of this record. So I hope you guys really enjoy it. April 21st, the record will be coming out. There will be a pre-order before then to pre-order the CD, and I'm hoping somewhere along there too I will get the vinyl pre-order done as well. There will be a vinyl as well, don't worry. Like there always is with my Projekt Gemineye releases. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this 25 minutes or so that we were together talking about this. Leave your comments, leave a like and a subscription, and I will talk to you guys all very soon. Thank you again for watching.